So this post-it sucks, and I'm going to be talking about how you can make your own post-its not suck. I'm Richard, and I'm an interdisciplinary designer currently working as a service design coach in the city of Helsingborg. And in my experience working as a designer and as a coach dealing with these kind of things, I've probably been through something like 10,000 plus post-its. And what I've learned is that we need these post-its to not suck in order to explore new ideas, to generate new ideas, to clarify concepts, to understand what we're actually thinking about and talking about, and also to communicate about ideas. And what do you need to do that? Well, post-its, of course. Recycled ones, really good. A lot of them, really good. Like get hundreds of post-its for sure, because you don't want to hold yourself back because you don't have enough of a stash. And then markers, any markers will do, but don't make it pencils, don't make it ballpoint pens. That's forbidden. Because it all starts from writing, and we write in all caps, all the time, always all caps. Because anything else is very unreadable, so if you use any other kind of handwriting, it's going to be maybe 10% faster, but it will be 300% more readable once you go to all caps. So you want to be doing that. And you want to be doing your text in 3 sizes. Possibly even 2, but 3 is good, because you can make some variation, give some different emphasis, and that way it doesn't get too complex, so 3 is good. Cut it down to 2 maybe if you want. And then you'd go with the top and the middle one if you do 2. So also, we want to be not doing any dashes like over on that side, because dashes makes it very confusing. At the same time, you also don't want to care about spelling, because if you can read it, it's enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. Actually, if it's perfectly spelled, you're not going fast enough. You want to crash with your spelling every now and then. And that thing I just showed you, it actually sucked, because it was saying 2 things at the same time. It was saying no dashes, it was saying don't care about spelling. We want each note to say one thing. One idea, one concept, one thought, one observation should go on one note. Because then you can use them and mix them and blend them up. Also, you want to think simple when it comes to layout. What you have on a note, you have something visual, you have some text. Think about where the text goes, where the visual goes, and then you put the text in there. And you keep it neat, you keep a simple plan for where you put the stuff. And next up, you want to have an anchor on each post-it. Like something that makes you remember it, because it's going to be 1 among 100. And if they all just look like 3 lines of text, you can never pick out the one you want. So put something on it that you remember. An anchor, a duck, whatever you want. Just something that makes it stick out from the rest. And here is another golden principle. You draw first and then you write. Because you want to have something visual on every post-it, and the way to do that is to draw the thing first, because then you're sure it's there. You're not going to use up the space with text. And while you're drawing, you will have better ideas for what to write. So draw first and write later. That's how it goes. Next up, use simple shapes, like a circle, like a line, like a box, because from those you can make an infinite amount of things. You can make a person with a package. You can make a house with a sun, just out of these basic things. So keep it basic with the shapes. And also, when it comes to faces and stuff, keep it basic. You make a circle, you draw some lines, you check out where do I have the structure of this thing, and then you add all the details, all the features. You keep it simple, you make a line for the eyes, you make a line for the mouth. And then you put the eyes and the mouth, and you put them any way you want. You can make anything with just eyes and mouth. Very easy. If you want to see how it's done, go to your phone, look at the emoji. Make the line for the eyes, make the mouth. Copy all the emoji, and then you've learned how to make a whole alphabet of things. If you want to make it a little cooler, you move them around. So you put the eyes at the bottom and the mouth at the bottom, or you put it at the top, however you want. This is all emoji. I made this out of emoji. It's not like, I'm not an artist, it's just emoji stuff. Here are figures. So you can make really simple figures. If you make a head without a body, it's not really a figure. If you put clothes on your figure, it's a portrait, so it's too much. Anywhere between a simple body and no clothes. Like if you go clothes, it's too much. If you have no body, it's not enough. Anywhere in between, just choose your style and stick with it. If you make stuff, use shading. 3 shades, darkest, medium, and lightest. That shows us where the light is coming from, and it gives volume to the thing. And then we use heavy lines at the bottom to attach it to the ground. We use lighter lines on the side where it has air behind it. We use really light lines to show the structures on the thing itself. Here's another way to make even easier 3D. You put layers. You say, okay, the guy is in front, the tree is in the back, the birds are very far away. It works because we use different sizes to say what's important, and we use different levels of details to say what's important there, right? So you see the guy is important there because he's in the front, he's big, he's got lots of details. Well, then you say, okay, paper, that's like super China, 100 AD, 2,000 years ago, we want something new. Well, nowadays China has something new, other countries also have something new. They make these post-it sized smartphones, very convenient. So we take the smartphone, we take the free Google Keep app, we take a simple stylus and we draw on it, very easy. So, try, make experiments, get your stuff, and just get started, draw something, and if you find that hard, buy expensive pens. Because if you put money in your pens, you're going to be using them because you've committed to it. So spend some cash on the pens. And that makes you do it even if you want to or not. So 3 things to remember now, except for the expensive pens. Use the caps lock every time. You put a caps lock button here and you engage it and you never let it go. You draw first, like the flower, and then you write something about that flower. And you keep one thing, well, this is a bad example because there are 3 things, but it's a summary. You keep one thing. And lastly, right, here is the magic trick. When you take those things off from the stack, some people go from the bottom, like this. What happens? Well, you have one thing that points out like that. If you go from the side,